50 rupee solar plant, the truth. Please read the clarification that presents the factual errors in this 50 rupee solar plant by a self-appointed NGO called National Intellectuals Organization. This message is from Senior Professor Sanjay Singh, Department of Civil Engineering, University of Marachua. 50 rupee solar plant, the truth. Initial proposal by United Solar Energy SL, Private, Ltd is for a 700 MW floating solar power plant at Poonakary. Proposed tank with a 1,400 MWh battery energy storage system, BESS, to cater 134 MW base load firm energy for 24 hours at a tariff of 22 US cents/kWh, 72 LKR at current exchange rate, for 25 years with a guaranteed daily energy of 3,216 MWh. The project committee has requested United Solar to revise the proposal considering system limitations for adding this proposed plant as a baseload firm energy plant. United Solar has submitted a revised proposal for a 700 MW floating solar power plant with a 750 MWh BESS at Poonakary Solar Power Park at a tariff of 16 US cents/kWh, 52 LKR at current exchange rate, for 20 years. An additional 750 MWh BESS to the national grid at a cost of 360 MUSD to paid in 9-year installment plan. After one-sided negotiations, CEB had to agree for the revised proposal for a 700 MW floating solar power plant with a 750 MWh BESS at Poonakary Solar Power Park at a tariff of 15.60 US cents/kWh, 51 LKR at current exchange rate, for 20 years. An additional 750 MWh BESS to the national grid at a cost of 360 MUSD to paid by 40 MUSD annual installments plus interest in 9-year settlement plan. Reduction from 22 to 15.60 US cents/kWh cannot be considered as a negotiated discount, as United Solar has reduced the BESS capacity by half and proposed the reduced BESS capacity to add national grid at a further cost of 360 MUSD plus interest. The Project Committee, Technical Evaluation Committee and Cabinet-appointed Negotiation Committee has manipulated this revised proposal as a peak power plant, citing only the 750 MWh during the night peak. However, the balanced daily energy of 2,466 MWh, 77% of generation, of this 700 MW is guaranteed by United Solar, which is not stored at BESS for night peak, has to be purchased by CEB at the same tariff of 15.60 US cents/kWh. 51 LKR at current exchange rate, for 20 years. Therefore, it is true that CEB has to purchase 2,466 MWh of electricity generated during daytime, 77% of generation, without storage at 50 rupees per unit if this PPA is signed according to the document by the Project Committee, PC/Technical Evaluation Committee, TC/Cabinet-appointed Negotiation Committee, CANC. Furthermore, United Solar is paid in USD, not in rupees. Who knows the exchange rate in coming years? It will be more than 50 rupees per unit in 2030s and 2040s unless we find a foreign currency generating economic model. By National Intellectuals Organization, Power and Energy Engineering Committee. Note 1, above figures are based on the document by the PC/TEC/CANC. Note 2, though it is mentioned as 700 MW plant by MOP, it can be reduced considering the limitation of inverted output, probably will be manipulated again as DC power output since there are different figures in document by MOP, PC, TC, and CANC as 700 MW, 700 MWP and 760 MWP, 750 MWh and 350 MWh. Note 3, power generation energy cost of existing power plants as per PUCSL daily generation cost reports. Hydro, CEB, LKR 0.00. Wind, LKR 13. Small hydro, LKR 14 to 15. Solar, LKR 19 to 25. Coal, CEB, LKR 23. LNG, if available today with number 10 years delay, LKR 32. Naphtha, CEB combined cycle, LKR 43. Heavy fuel oil, LKR 53. Diesel, CEB combined cycle, LKR 73. Ang Xavi Fernando, former general manager of Ceylon Electricity Board, has sent the above report on the proposed BESS by an Australian company with Sun Power Group of Companies of Sri Lanka as the local agent. It appears that this report by National Intellectuals Organization has many gross factual errors as for the various information that I gathered over the last 2 years as a person with a deep interest in providing electrical energy to all in Sri Lanka at an affordable cost. I have over 25 years experience in energy sector undertaking research and development after completing a PhD at Cambridge University by December 1991 on artificial intelligence applicable to applications needing deep knowledge. Postscript 1. Cabinet approval granted to revised rooftop solar tariff rates from October 2022. 2-tier existing tariff rate of Rs 20/equals and 15.50 rupees will be revised to a flat rate of 37 rupees for less than 500 kilowatts installation. The price paid by CEB is Rs 34.50/equals for above 500 kilowatts rooftop for 20 years. 2. The above information itself will show that facts presented by National Intellectuals Organization are not the latest, but what prevailed when $1 is Rs 200/equals or less. 3. Today, $1 is Rs 320/equals. 4. When our good friend Shavi Fernando was the general manager of Ceylon Electricity Board in about 2013-14 era, he was instrumental in raising the salaries of CEB employees with a collective agreement of 25% increase in every 3 years automatically. 5. Today, the salaries of CEB employees vary from Rs 150,000/equals to 1.3 million rupees, inclusive of EPF, ETF, contributions to pension fund, etc. 6. CEB has 25,000 employees and with an average salary of 300,000/equals, the total salary bill would be 10 billion rupees with many other fringe benefits like vehicles, diesel, traveling allowances, etc., etc., etc. 7. Hydropower generated electrical energy each year is about 5,000 GWh. 8. Since hydropower is the cheapest since Mahaweli multipurpose scheme provides water to CEB free of charge, we can allocate the salary bill-based overheads and other overheads to hydropower. 9. Thus 10,000,000/5,000,000,000,000 will give about an overhead charge of Rs 2/equals per unit of hydropower. However, the National Intellectuals Organization attribute a cost of 0 rupees. 10. This is a very low cost per unit of hydropower generation, and during that tariff hike of 2023, senior engineer Rohan Senaviran attributed Rs 3/equals per unit of hydropower generated electricity, and it is a true figure when the cost of maintaining the hydropower plants are also added. 11. Thus 0 rupees indicated by the National Intellectuals Organization Power and Engineering Committee is factually wrong and outdated, may be a deliberate and a cunning plot to mislead the innocent general public. 12. The correct values that the National Intellectuals Organization should have indicated are the following. 13. Hydropower once allowed for transmission losses, overheads, maintenance of turbines, etc., 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 will cost Rs 3/equals per unit. 14. Poor quality rooftop solar generated energy with a lot of fluctuations and high degree of unreliability due to cloud cover, once allowed for transmission losses will cost CB at least Rs 40/equals per unit. Transmission losses can be as high as 20 to 25% due to the very low quality of rooftop generated electrical energy. 15. Thus the outdated energy costs shown by these National Intellectuals Organization shall be adjusted as follows, based on prices indicated by the former General Manager Senior Engineer Rohan Senaviran in early 2023 at the time of first massive tariff rise after allowing for transmission losses. A hydropower is Rs 3/equals, but not 0. B. Rooftop solar is Rs 40/equals per kWh despite being of very poor quality, but not 14 to 15. C. Though wind power has close to 300 megawatts of installed capacity, the energy quality could be very poor and it is seasonal. The contribution is 0 in times of still air. The wind energy is pretty good to destabilize the national grid than stabilizing it. I would not add it to the national grid even given free. Our national grid switching gear is based on stable centrally generated electrical energy, but not for highly fluctuating poor quality solar and wind generated energy. DE coal power generation at Rs 65/equals per unit after allowing for 15% transmission losses, not 23 rupees as indicated by the National Intellectuals Organization. E. Combined cycle heavy oil generated electrical energy at Rs 100/equals per unit, Notes 53/equals presented by National Intellectuals Organization. F. Combined cycle diesel generated electricity at Rs 120/equals per unit, not 73 rupees indicated by the National Intellectuals Organization. G. Diesel generated emergency electrical energy at Rs 150/equals per kWh. H. The annual electrical energy demand is 17,000 GWh. J. 5,000 GWh come from hydropower at 3 billion rupees, total 15 billion rupees. K. 5,000 GWh come from coal at 65 billion rupees per 1,000 GWh, total at 325 billion rupees. L. 1,000 GWh come from mini hydropower and wind, etc. at 20 billion rupees, poor quality energy, at 20 billion rupees. M. 1,000 GWh come from the rooftop solar 40 billion rupees. And remaining 5,000 GWh come from diesel mafia at Rs 5 times 120 is equal to 600 billion rupees. P. Ceylon Electricity Board of 25,000 employees have an annual turnover of over 1,000 billion rupees, each employee is responsible for 40 million rupees. Q. Therefore, the extremely high salaries of employees of Ceylon Electricity Board can be fully justified if the name is changed to Sri Lanka Electricity Board, SLEB versus CEB. Now to address the other factual error of the above National Intellectuals Organization. The installed capacity of the proposed battery energy storage system, BESS, are as follows as for engineer Jayantha Samarakun, the USA-educated chairman of Sun Power Group of Companies, the oldest solar systems company with over 30 years experience in Sri Lanka covering many successful business development and construction activities. I got to know the electrical engineer Jayantha Samarakun through my classmate at the Ananda College of Colombo 10. My classmate is electrical engineer Ravindra Weerasekara, who studied electrical engineering up to master's level in Ukraine. During 1980s, Ukraine was a part of Communist Russian Federation. The following are the answers I got from mature engineer Jayantha Samarakun, who is 3 years older than me. 1. What is the installed capacity equals 765 megawatts of solar panels covering 1,600 acres with 800 acres over the 8,000-acre freshwater reservoir built to solve the freshwater shortage of Kilanachi district, as large as Kalawa built by King Dathuzana, having an earth dam of 6.8 kilometers of length at around 460 BCE, 460 years before Common Era or AD. 2. What is the average daily electrical energy generated equals 3,000 mWh of high-quality electrical energy, since all the electrical energy by solar panels are stabilized utilizing the battery storage. Another blatant lie by National Intellectuals Organization that daytime electricity is fed directly to the national grid as low-quality energy directly from solar panels. 3. What is the battery storage capacity equals 1,500 megawatts-hours. This is much higher than 750 mWh given by National Intellectuals Organization. 4. How are you planning to feed the national grid equals from 9 o'clock a.m. to 4:30 a.m. over 7.5 hours 200 mWh of high-quality electrical energy that is equivalent to the electrical energy from a coal power plant running non-stop? 5. After 4:30 p.m., providing high-quality electrical energy at 300 mWh from 4:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. 6. This BESS system can provide 1,000 GWh out of 17,000 GWh needed by CEB per year. 7. If CEB is spending more than Rs 35/equals per unit of highly unreliable rooftop solar, why CEB does not pay Rs 50/equals per unit of pure electrical energy that will help to keep the transmission losses at less than 10% for the northern province, since electrical energy generated in Kilanachi district will have a very low transmission and distribution losses. 8. Currently, the electricity generated at Norakolai and other schemes feed the north at 25% transmission losses. 9. Feeding northern province from Kilanachi district will help to bring down these losses to be less than 10%. 10. Sri Lanka is a country run by very corrupt politicians and top officials, and some opportunistic Vyathmaga rascals even now holding top posts. 11. They are all beneficiaries of the free education initiated by late Dr. C. W. Kanangara in 1933 and gathered the full momentum with 50 central schools by 1956. 12. There is a possibility of Dr. C. W. Kanangara rising from ashes and punishing these nutty characters, making them Kumbandaya, looking after the ill-gotten wealth after their death. 13. In such a nutty characters-run country, no person of proper thinking will ever sign an agreement in highly depreciating Sri Lankan rupees. 14. Anyway, the cost of US dollars cents 15.6 is a fixed price for the next 35 years, and hence the Australian-based investor of this foreign direct investment of US $1.7 billion is absorbing all the risks associated with the depreciation of the US dollar. 15. At US $15.60. It is the investor who takes the massive risk for the next 35 years, but not CEB. 16. This 3,000 M.T.R of electrical energy will replace the electrical energy supplied by the diesel mafia. 17. The annual saving will be Rs 1,000,000,000 x 70 equals 70 billion rupees annually for CEB. 18. CEB has over 4 million customers consuming less than 60 units per month. 19. They consume 4 million x 60 by 12 units of electrical energy per year. 2,880 GWh of energy. 20. The value of this electrical energy at Rs 30 equals per kWh is 86.4 billion rupees. 21. With a saving of 70 billion rupees annually from this wonderfully designed BESS project, the low-income groups consuming electrical energy at less than 60 units per month can be provided electricity at Rs 15 equals per unit. 22. The senior engineers attached to Ceylon Electricity Board are often accused as characters looked after well by the diesel mafia. 23. Now I am wondering whether National Intellectuals Organization is another non-governmental organization, NGO, funded by the diesel mafia. 24. Presenting wrong facts as truth can be a deliberate misleading of innocent general public already suffering heavily from the economic debacle of 2022 created by the members of the family and closely collaborating top officials and bloody useless rascals of Vyathmaga. 25. As people of good education, it is our duty not to compare apples to mango or oranges. 26. Such comparisons would suit only JVP/NPP, Paratugami-type opportunistic political parties or the immature and ill-informed our United Kingdom educated leader of opposition. 27. The third-rated opportunistic behavior of our many leading politicians collaborating with top officials can only be ranked as disgusting. 28. When beneficiaries of free education up to the university education join hands with such rascal politicians holding top government of Sri Lanka posts, we get a highly toxic top management who deliberately ignore the well-being of the general public. 29. In such a scenario, we cannot blame honest intellectuals joining NPP in massive numbers. 30. It is no wonder that our youth is hell-bent on leaving our wonderful motherland and live as second-class citizens of the Western world.